only enjoy the meal, the warm atmosphere, and the program, but also please get to know somebody else. Introduce yourself to somebody else. And also hear a new story. And try to have a new perspective, discover a new perspective. And because peace does not begin with large gestures, but it begins in the individual's levels, like a program like this one. So thank you again for being here. Welcome to our celebration, and I wish each of you a blessed, meaningful, and joyful Thanksgiving. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Atilla. Is it still coming a little blurry, kind of? Okay. I'll just go without it as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker tonight is a distinguished scholar and dear friend of NOICA. It's my honor to introduce to you Dr. Stephen Corey. Here's a little bit about them. Dr. Corey earned his PhD in Islamic history from the University of California, Santa Barbara, and he teaches in the history department at Cleveland State University, where he currently serves as the department chair. His expertise focuses on the history and the religion of Islamic Middle East and North Africa, especially from the 15th to the 18th centuries. He has received the 5 Fulbright and Fulbright Hayes fellowships, conducting research and teaching in Morocco and Jordan. And she's also spent time in Turkey. Dr. Corey has presented at major academic gatherings such as the Middle East Student Studies Association and the World Congress of Middle East Studies. For over 21 years, he has taught extensively on Islamic history and on interfaith relations between Muslims, Christians, and Jews. He has also been a loyal friend to NOICA, participating in many of our Quran, Bible, interfaith programs, and more. Outside academia, he's the proud father of 4 daughters, and he's expected his 9th grandchild any day now. Congrats. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Stephen Corey.
Okay,
You can try this, or if it works, yeah.
Thank you. I'm used to projecting, so hopefully you can hear me okay.
President the microphone.
What's that?
President the microphone already.
What?
It's
Better than the microphone, okay. Good. Glad to hear that. I really appreciate Attila inviting me to speak here. I have really enjoyed my time with all the different events I've gone to that NOICA has hosted over the years. I very much appreciate the focus on interfaith understanding and just this idea of gathering around the table. And I fully agree with it, and excited to be here. I've enjoyed QB as well. If you get a chance and you want to attend something very interesting, my friend Mustafa actually leads it quite a bit, and we get Christians and Muslims gather together, and one time we talk about a Christian theme, and one time we talk about a Muslim theme, and we all learn. So it's a great opportunity. So I was asked to speak on this theme of peace begins around the table. And as a Christian, my natural tendency is to turn to the Bible to try to understand, what I should say about this. So I pulled out the search engine called Bible Gateway, and I put the term at table, and I found out that there are 19 references to Jesus reclining at table in the Gospels, in the 4 Gospels. 19 references, 19 separate references. So in those days, they would recline at table because they'd be on couches. And there were 6 other references to people reclining at table that didn't refer to Jesus specifically. One of which I thought was interesting. This is from the Gospel of Matthew. And it says, Jesus says, many will come from east and west to recline at table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. So even in heaven, we'll be reclining at table. We will be gathering and fellowshipping around. I don't know whether we eat in heaven or not, but we will be fellowshipping at table, which is interesting. So I looked at, so who did Jesus recline at table with? So I started looking at that. So some of the gatherings were with Pharisees. Now, Pharisees were the religious leaders of the day. Jesus didn't always agree with them. As a matter of fact, they persecuted him and harassed him, and eventually arranged for him to be crucified. But when they invited him, he went. He fellowshiped with them, he spoke with them, interacted with them. But he also reclined at table with people the Pharisees didn't like, with people that didn't fall into their category of holy people, people that they labeled as tax collectors or sinners. He even says at one point, Jesus says, this is a quote, he says that the Pharisees referred to him as being a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. So he was doing this so much, gathering a table with people like this, that they actually labeled him as a partier, just using our lingo of the day. Now, obviously, that wasn't his motivation in gathering with people, but that was how his enemies saw him. But it was not just sinners, tax collectors, or prostitutes, or people that are considered to be, people that are not living good lives, but he also gathered with people of different religious persuasions. In particular, a group known as the Samaritans. Maybe you've heard of the Samaritans. They were a religious minority in Israel that were not considered to be Orthodox Jews. Historically, when the northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by Assyria, and they took the Jews captive to Assyria, which is now in northern Iraq. That's where Assyria was located at the time. The remaining Jews intermixed with Assyrians and created this kind of hybrid religion called the Samaritan religion. And they continued to live in the region that was part of Israel. And mainline Jews would go out of their way to avoid the region of the Samaritans. They would go miles out of their way just so that they wouldn't cross through the area that the Samaritans were in, because they were considered unclean. They were considered religiously impure. Jesus went through their area. He actually says he spent 2 days in a Samaritan village. I'm sure he reclined at the table quite a bit in those 2 days. He even tells a story in which the Samaritan is the hero. And this is in response to a lawyer, a religious lawyer, asking him, he quotes in the Jewish Bible, there's the command to love the Lord your God with all your heart and soul and might, and love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus says those are the 2 great commandments. Love your neighbor as yourself. So this lawyer says, wanting to justify himself, he said, so who's my neighbor? And when he said that question, Jesus tells this story that most of us are familiar with, called the story of the Good Samaritan, in which a man is on a road, he gets robbed, beat up, left in a ditch, and the religious people come by and see him, and they cross the other side of the road, and they keep on going. And the one that stops and helps this man is a Samaritan. And so just in telling that story, Jesus is showing a vision, I think, bigger than just, my group, my people, that's the only ones that matter. So I find that really interesting. And I also am inspired by the call to love our neighbor as ourselves. I mean, that if you think about that, love someone as yourself, that's a pretty radical call. So there's plenty of examples in the Bible to support this idea. So why does peace begin around the table? I think Attila gave some ideas as to why that is the case.
But in our world today, I don't think I have to tell you that there is really a move towards intolerance, towards stereotyping, towards name calling. And that's all on the rise. I mean, you can just see it in the news. The hate crimes, just the examples of labeling people and dismissing people. So what we're doing tonight is we're showing that there's a better way to deal with difference than that. There's a better way. And gathering around the table is the first step towards doing that. For all the reasons that Attila mentioned. But when we gather to get around the table, we talk together, we listen to one another, we get to know one another, we learn to understand one another. And you know what? We may not agree on everything. We come from maybe different political views. Maybe we come from different religious backgrounds. Maybe we come from different cultural backgrounds. Maybe we don't necessarily see eye to eye on everything. But that's okay. When we're around the table, we can learn to understand one another better. And maybe not demonize people that are different from us. Maybe not just say, well, because you think differently, you're evil. Maybe we can understand that there's more than one way to see things sometimes. And even if we don't agree, we can still appreciate one another and be friends with one another, even if we don't necessarily agree on everything. And to me, those are the things that you learn around the table. So I'm really excited to have this opportunity to be with you tonight, and I hope that we can all experience a little bit of this. As Attila said, get to know somebody you didn't know before, and learn something about somebody different from you. And maybe in these little incremental ways, we can hopefully make our world a little bit better of a place. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Corey. Next, we have the honor of hearing from the chair of the Faculty of Religious Studies at the University of John Carroll, Dr. Zeki Sarıtoprak, a respected voice in the interfaith dialogue and Islamic scholarship. Dr. Sarıtoprak, the stage is yours.
I think I can yell so you can hear me. Then microphone. Very briefly, as first of all, I am so pleased that we are organizing this. We are coming together, sharing food. There is a statement of the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. When a person comes to him, his name is Abdullah bin Salam. Originally he was Jewish, then he converted to Islam. He was a Jewish rabbi, actually, Abdullah bin Salam. And the Prophet says, Abdullah, do three things in order to enter paradise. Steve mentioned paradise, they would sit around the table in paradise. Three things. First, share food, give food to people. To share food is creating love among people, creating a peaceful existence among people. And second, greet people. Greeting. And as you know, Islamic greeting is peace be with you. Assalamu alaikum. And I think our Imam Harun mentioned at the beginning, he said, Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. That's greeting. Whenever you find someone, knowing or not knowing the person, say Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. That's the Prophet's recommendation for Abdullah. And this is like very well known in the Islamic tradition. It became like really like a big well-known hadith, the saying of the Prophet. These two are the most essential ones and the most well-known ones. There's another one, that one a little bit difficult, but I will share with you. Pray to God when people are asleep. When people are sleeping, you wake up and pray to God. This way you will enter paradise peacefully. 3 things. So easy. The last one might be not very easy. So to come together, to talk, that's very essential principle. And I love Thanksgiving because really to be thankful to God for what we have, to be content, because greed also is leading to violence. Content. What Allah has given us is enough. The food that we have is more than enough. We can just share it and have this beautiful environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sarıtoprak. Now, before dinner, we will lighten the atmosphere with our 1-minute game. This is my favorite part. Let's go. So here's how it works. Every team is going to get a piece of paper that's going to have a list of emojis, basically. Just have them like walk in. Thank you. They'll be handing out a list of papers. So, within your table, continuing on with the theme of today. Alright, let's listen up here for the rules, real quick. So pick someone within your team to be the writer. Pencils will be passed out as well. And then you're going to be guessing what the words mean according to the emoji. You have 1 minute to finish the game.
Alright, can I get your attention real quick? So, you each will have a paper on your table. Pick a writer within your table. But before you pick that, you each will have 1 minute to guess them. And then once you do, don't start yet, don't start. Okay, we'll begin the timer. And then guess as much as you can, starting now. Okay. Everyone, let's settle down. Alright, time is up. Writers, put your pencils or pens down. Yeah. Good job, everyone. Alright, so within the time frame, we did have 3 people that were able to finish everything. But before I announce that, let's look at the answers real quick. You can check your answers, check for correctness. Like, put a tick mark. It's not just a matter of getting all of them on time, it's a matter of getting them correct. So make sure they're all correct. The teams that didn't, double check that for us. Okay, has everyone checked their answers? Yes? Yes? Okay, does anyone need more time to check their answers? Yes? Okay, so one team still checking. Dr. Corey, is your team done? Are you guys done? No? Not done? Okay. All right. Okay. So let's settle down. Let's decide who now gets the prize.